video, they've changed something and made it different, and they've never made it better by making these things different. Hello and welcome back to the live stream for Napoleonic Wargaming. I am aware that I have been absent the last couple of weeks. So 1 week I was planning on doing one, and then one last week I wasn't. So apologies for that. I'm hoping there's going to be some people tuning in for the live stream today. I'll fully understand if they don't, though, and that is because I was away. I've just spilt my coffee everywhere, so that's a good start. Let's just clean that up. Just sort my computer out so I can see the comments. Hopefully. Oh no, I can't. Shit. Right. Hello, everyone. That is a coffee stain you can see at the top there, because I've just spilled my coffee. So, hello. Hello, Glenn. Hello. It is very nice to see you, my friend, because until you arrived, I wasn't sure whether this was on public or private, because for some reason, YouTube always sets live streams to private, which seems a little bit odd to me. I'm not sure why you would do a live stream that no one could see, but there you go. Maybe it's me that's wrong, and the cool kids who know what's going on. Let me find out why my internet's not working. I'll worry about that later. So what I thought we would do today is, yes, 1RNW. We would look at a review of some epic Napoleonic models. Now, I picked these up from my local Element Games. Now, I know Element Games sponsor a lot of different content creators. They do not sponsor me, so I had to pay my £13.05 for each one of these boxes, which is certainly better than £14.50. Hello, Christopher Horner. Hello. So what I thought we would do is I thought we'd have a sneaky look at these. I had a huge amount of stock in, so I may pick some more up in the future, but I am starting off from a place of I prefer 3D prints because they are much cheaper. However, with the personality figures, I thought, you know what, I'll splash out and I'll go for the commanders. Now, first thing off the bat, I can see 5 British and Allied commanders here. So I'm guessing that we've got the Duke of Boots himself, the Duke of Wellington. We've got General Hill with his top hat on. We've got, sorry, no, not General Hill, I'm talking about General Picton with his top hat on. We've got the Prince of Orange, I would imagine. And I'm not sure who this is. I'm not sure who this is. Potentially Uxbridge, that one I'd imagine. And this guy could be just a general commanding officer. I'm not sure. Could be. Oh, hang on, he's on the back. Here we are. He is a British cavalry commander. Well, there you go. So they're clearly identifiable by people who don't know what's in the box. Let's see what's in the French box. I'm going to suggest we've got Marshal Ney, the bravest of the brave there. We've got the man himself, l'Empereur Napoleon, and probably Kellerman, maybe. And then 2 other dudes. Let's have a look. So, okay, no, Kellerman's this guy up here. He's de Erlon, just General Cuirassier Commander. Now, actually, by 1815, the cavalry general, all cavalry generals were ordered to wear cuirasses. This comes after the death of D'Espagna at the Battle of Aspern-Essling. All cavalry commanders were instructed to wear cuirasses after that. We got Kellerman, of course, who led the Great Charge, and Ney, the bravest of the brave, who was the battlefield commander. Why can't I cut you open with my scissors? Why am I being special needs? Here we are. I am being very special needs here. I am catching the comments as they come in. I ordered the AP Fanatic starter set as John Stollard recommended the yellow for Spanish Dragoons. Okie dokie. Hello across the pond. I can't. Normally I have my laptop next to me with the chat on, but up here in General Dad's attic, the internet is not perhaps so good. So I am trying, very trying, some people say, to get it back up. So if I miss your comment, apologies. Just make it again, and I shall have a look. Where are we? Right, so I'm going to start off with, let's start off with the British. So, these are made out of Warlord resin. Now, I am told this is the best thing ever. Now, I have to declare an interest here. I was away at the weekend on a bolt action weekender, and the store that the event took place in had some bolt action German tank crew that were absolutely beautifully cast. They were stunning. Really nice. I bought those for my brother. I bought the American tank crew, and they were absolutely dreadful. So I've seen both sides from Warlord resin now, from just this weekend. And as I say, the Germans were absolutely stunning. I don't think I've seen better cast German models at all, including in pewter or plastic. They were absolutely gorgeous. The detail on the Iron Cross and things like that were just stunning. But the Americans were a giant pile of doodah. So let's see which type we end up with in this set. So it comes in this little blister pack here. They're quite tightly packed in there. I don't mind that because it stops them moving around. With them only being resin, there's a high chance of damage there. So the fact that they're packed in quite tightly means that it's not too sad at all. Warlord resin is just Sino cast. I don't know what that is, I'm afraid. Rattel, it's nice. Yeah, thank you. It's nice to be back, buddy. It is. I do really enjoy doing these. It is nice to be back. What was the strongest unit in the Battle of Waterloo? Well, that is a question that's up for some debate. Off the top of my head, I don't know. Maybe the British Guard Cavalry, or the Grenadier Cheval, perhaps. Some sort of elite cavalry, I would go with. So, as I say, they're quite tightly packed in here. Let me open the box. I'm all thumbs today. Let's see what's going on here. You know what? Alexander the Great style. Using tools is what separates us from the animals, except crows and octopuses, they can use tools. But apart from them, that's what sets us aside from the animals. So, there we are. That'll be useful for using as a pallet. And here we go. So there's our five minis. Let's have a look. So I'm going to tilt the camera back a little bit. So we've got this chap here. Now this is the Prince of Orange. Let's see if I can focus the camera in on him. Probably not. Let's have him a little bit further away. He's got the braiding here across his chest. It goes all the way across there. It shouldn't really. There should be where his coat goes in half. But that's okay. I mean, that's not necessarily the end of the world. He's got little stirrups here, and that's quite nice. So yeah, no, he's nice. I like him. He'll be going on a 40mm base with a friend, probably. This is Uxbridge. A little bit of flash here. Down by his sword knot. Shame about that. Yes, I have Rubric. It's limited. I wish they did for Napoleon Total War what they did for Empire Total War. I don't know why they went for Empire and not Napoleon, but I do quite enjoy Empire Total War as well, if I'm honest. Again, he's quite nice. He's got the shark's teeth on the edges of his saddlecloth. The braiding on his pelisse is going to take the side of a brush very, very nicely. Yeah, he's good. A bit of flash on the back of the horse's leg. Oh, no, sorry, that's from the saddlecloth, so my mistake. A little bit of flash on the bottom of the hoof, but that's certainly not a problem. This is just General British Commander Man, I think. Oh, no, this is the Duke himself. So he's got his little telescope in hand there. Is that the Duke? Yeah, it is, yeah. He's got his telescope in hand. He's wearing his overcoat as per Waterloo. So he looks quite nice. Now, I'm going to take him off camera a second. And the reason is, looking at his face is quite nicely detailed. I don't think my camera is going to be good enough to pick it up, I'm afraid. But, yeah, no, he's looking quite good. Yes, there were some Dutch that helped rout the Imperial Guard. So this is Picton with his top hat and his umbrella. He's very nice. The umbrella would have been cooler in the other hand, but I can imagine that would be quite difficult to cast. So I can understand that. Although if he's saber casts, I don't see why his umbrella wouldn't. But yeah, well, never mind. That's just a minor gripe. Yeah, he's nice. Bit of flash on the horse. Bit of mold release agent by the look of it as well. So I don't think the one after is going to be as good. Never mind. And then this guy here. Now, oh dear. He's rather slouched over in the saddle there. Not a very good riding posture at all. It could be that he's about to swing out and kill someone, but not a great one, that one, but not terrible, not terrible. Now the horse's tails, not this guy. Oh right, okay. So that one is Prince William of Orange. So if you look at the horse's tails, these are cut off. That's a full horse tail, and that's a good bit of historical accuracy there. The Dutch did not dock their horses' tails; the British did. So that's quite a nice difference there. If you are looking at converting models from one side to the other, and you want to be 100% accurate, then dock the tails on the British ones, not on the Dutch. So overall, pretty nice, not terrible. What is the cost? So that's £13.05. So cost per unit is, well, at full price, it's £14.50. So cost per unit is less than £3 a model, sort of £2.90-ish. Would I pay £2.90 for a Picton? Probably not. I just saw in a comment someone went for minifigs because they were cheaper. That's fair enough. Yeah, I can fully appreciate that. The other problem that I've got with it is, this is cool. You've got a box. You've got 5 dudes in there, but they're all on their own. Now, I think at epic scale in particular, it really lends itself to having some vignettes. You know, I love my vignettes, and on a command base, you don't just want the Duke of Wellington. I'd want 2 or 3 ADCs and some staff officers, perhaps even a horse guard, you know, that kind of thing. So I think it's a bit of a shame that you don't get any of the parrots and monkeys in there. For £14.50, could you have put these 5 and then maybe 3 aide-de-camps in there? You can see in the box, we're only taking up half of the box. So could you have had 3 aide-de-camps in there? I absolutely think you could. So that's a bit of a shame, but you know, it's not as if they're pictures on the box with aide-de-camps. You knew what I was getting when I got into it, so I can't complain too much, can I? So let's have a look at the French. So let's get this up. I'm still not getting the full comments, I'm afraid. So apologies if I'm ignoring your comments. I'm not meaning to. This one's a bit looser. This one opened up much easier. So let's have a look at the French. So straight away, I can see they're not as well cast as the British are. So this is the Emperor himself. We've got a mold line. We've got a mold line, people. Right down the back of his hat, down his sleeve there. Now, I can imagine they cast a lot of Napoleons, but that's not really an excuse for this terrible mold line. There's a line down the front of the horse's face as well. Not fantastic. Now, these mold lines will come off with a knife. They're not. It's not the most difficult thing in the world. Do I have a knife? I'm sure I do. Hang on. I do. It's not the world's best, but it will do. You don't necessarily want it to be too sharp anyway. Now, because this is this soft resin, it's not really going to take scraping that well. I might have to carve, and that's something that I don't want to do too much, because if it slips or you go wrong, you're going to ruin the model. Now, the reason I bought these, as I've said before, I don't mind buying the files for printing the stuff I'm going to print multiples of, But for characters, I think you're often just better buying a commercially available one, because then you yeah, I could try and find. I don't have one that's the right, like a modelling file up here at the moment, I'm afraid. I've got an emery board, but it's going to be too big. So yes, let's see. Let me try scraping here. I'm normally a mold line scraper when I even bother. There we go. To be honest, when this is painted, it shouldn't be too bad. But I'm being a little bit finicky. I'm being a little bit nitpicky. I get that. However, these are not cheap models. These are very expensive models for what they are. I'm paying £15. I'm paying, you know, nearly £3 for a tiny Napoleon, and the least he can be is actually, you know, well cast. As I say, these German tank crew that I got at the weekend, they are proof to me that Warlord can make absolutely fantastic casts. So unfortunately, it means that when they don't, I'm even more disappointed with them. So that's Napoleon, not bad. Big bit of flash here on these horses on Marengo's leg. I'm not going to mess around with that too much. Next up, second in command, Marshal Ney. Now, he's really nice. He's got the 2 medals on his chest there, and he seems to be shouting. Slight problem, there's a mould line right down the middle of his face. That's going to need sorting out, probably with a scalpel, that one. So, very nice. Really nicely cast, except for that mould line on his face. That's a shame. This guy, he is generic officer, I think. Oh, no, this is D'Erlon. So he's a general, not a marshal. He is Marshal D'Erlon or General D'Erlon? He might have been a marshal, actually. He might have been made right at the end. Big chunk of flash here. That's pretty poor. Not massively impressed with that. Let's see if I can get that off. Now, you'll notice that the one set that's missing is the Prussian Supreme Command. That's because, as I say, I bought these myself, and I wasn't spending £30 to buy some Prussians. So that's why they're missing. You'll have to investigate them yourself, I'm afraid. Then we've got Francois Kellerman. He is one of my favourite commanders of the French army, and again, we've got a mould line right down the middle of his face in there. Very, very poor. Very disappointing there. The sword that covers his face, so it's not going to necessarily be the end of the world. It's not a great pose anyway. Might be worth cutting his arm and repositioning the sword. Not quite sure what he's doing there. Maybe even cutting off his head and repositioning the head. Yes, now there's a big mould line down the front leg of the horse there as well. Big chunk of flash on his snout. Yeah. The least said about that one, the better. This one's still got a gate attached. That's always a good start. Let's get rid of that one. Now, these ones here, I don't mind so much, because they are at least keeping his foot secure. So I don't mind that so much. He's leant over a little bit. And his sword is very curvy, this guy. Now, if he is a Cuirassier general, which he is listed as being, why has he got a saber? So, now it's not the end of the world. As I said, all cavalry commanders were told to wear cuirasses. That includes light cavalry commanders. They didn't always do it, but they were told to. So this guy can be a light cavalry commander with a cuirass. It's not the end of the world, but that is me making the best of a bad job there. I could heat up the sword, bend it, and straighten it out, but again, I'm paying a lot of money. I don't expect to have to do that. If I want to do that, I'll just print my own. Thank you very much. So yeah, overall, the British probably not had the mold, probably not had as much a hammering as the French have. So that's probably why the British were in better condition. But the French, a little bit disappointed with them. But that's me because I've got a post-event cold, not because I'm crying at the the quality of the French generals. Again, same criticism as I have with the Allies. There's no aid de camps, there's no hangers on, anything like that. Bit of a shame, if you ask me. Bit of a wasted opportunity. It would have cost them several pence to put some more in, and they decided not to. So yeah, not hugely thrilled with that Warlord. I like the models. The detail on them really good. I think though that molding wise you can probably do better. The Warlord resin has not wowed me here. As I say, on those tank commanders it was absolutely fantastic, but here it's at best. So that's the review of them. Let's go from the review of Warlord Games' Napoleonic Waterloo Epic Commanders to Lucas's piano miniatures. Let's cheer myself up by looking at some piano miniatures. Now, Lucas, unfortunately, when he's not extracting money out of my wallet for his Napoleonic Bavarians, is extracting money out of my wallet for his Franco-Prussian War Bavarians. So that Kickstarter is going off at the moment. It's called the Roaring Lions. It's the second one. So if you think you might be interested in the mid 19th century, then absolutely check that out. They are Lucas's usual very high standard. Now these are French line grenadiers. I got 4 here. I've actually printed 30 of them, but this is just 4 that I've managed to take off the plate. You may be able to hear my printer chugging away in the background. It's doing some Hexton Hills tiles at the moment. But yeah, so these are grenadiers of the line. So they're not au garde or anything like that. These are just regular line grenadiers. You can tell that because they've got a front plate and there's a flaming bomb on there. There's a grenade on there. So that shows that they are line grenadiers. If they were Imperial Guard, they would have the eagle, Napoleon's eagle on there. Now, it's a good job that they're not, because these guys are not going to be French, although they are French. They are going to be part of my Italian army, or at least my Italian brigade, that I will be starting at some point. So the 1809 French from Piano Miniatures, they are going to be recruited into my Italian army. So I'm quite looking forward to that. Now, speaking of crazy minor nations and Lucas, I am looking to bring my Württembergers to Under Eagles to Glory. Now, I am increasingly concerned that they're not going to be ready in time, because I've also got some extra stuff that I need to get ready, namely buildings. So, yeah, I'm a little bit concerned that they're not going to be done in time, but let's have a go anyway. Now, this chap here is an example of the basing scheme I'm going to use. This is using Gamer's Grass, which is a product from a former YouTuber. He set up his own terrain and grass basing company, and this is using his stuff. Now, he does a lot of different styles. One of the things I had a real problem with was basing Mediterranean style armies, and given that a lot of the periods I'm really interested in take place around the Mediterranean, that was something of an issue. So luckily now he does Mediterranean soil. That's perfect. That now, this one isn't Mediterranean soil. This is, I think it's called it's like Middle Earth or something like that. And this is what we are going to do with it today. We are going to start the Württembergers. As you can see, I've already done this commander as well, but we're going to get the infantry, we're going to get them out, we're going to get them based. I've got one base done already, but we're going to try and get this battalion finished today, and then that's one less thing to worry about, isn't it? There should be 9 bases to a battalion. That includes the command, so I should only have 8 bases at the moment. So let's have a look. Now with these, this is my yellow battalion. And I've gone for, that's the line. There are the grenadiers. That's the back grenadiers. So this is the 1st battalion, because it's got the grenadiers involved. So have a look. It should have the right number of grenadiers. Well, they don't for now, but it doesn't matter because they've all got to get done. So this is roughly what they look like. There we go. And the command goes in the front there. Let's have a zoom down. Don't worry about the beeps and boops that my computer's making. I haven't turned the sound off. I usually do. Let's do that now. I still can't get the chat up on my laptop, so apologies for this, guys. But that's the battalion in all its glory, and let's get some basing started. So while we're doing this is going to be just sort of let's try and have a chat. As I say, it's not great if I can't see all of your comments, but I'll see them before they disappear. So I'll see them for a short time. We went to my brother and I went to a bolt action event this weekend. Much fun was had by all. The good guys won in the end. The Allies won, despite our best efforts, and largely because of my dice rolls, which were absolutely appalling. I mean, even for me, they were bad. But the thing is, we both had a very good time, particularly my brother, who's not traditionally a gamer. He has always been more of a painter. So the question that I'm going to ask you guys today is, have you had friends who were interested in maybe just the background or the history or just painting or modeling or something like that? How did you guys convince them to get into the gaming side of it? Or were you that person? Were you someone who was convinced to get into the gaming side of it? Or do you think that the two shouldn't meet? Do you think that if someone's just interested in painting, then that's fine, and they should just do their painting and be left alone? So what do you guys think of that one? For me, I think that everyone should be interested in the gaming because I'm very selfish, and it means there are more potential opponents for me. But and it's for me, it's also, I find painting a very solitary thing. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I quite enjoy the peace and quiet, and there's almost a meditative nature of painting. But I like the gaming because it's something that I can do with other people. And it's something that's a little bit more sociable. So at the weekend I was making the crazy German noises, which would be very offensive, I'm sure, to any Germans listening. So I won't do it now. But yeah, no, it was a great weekend. But yeah, what is it that got you guys into gaming? And how do you think what's a good method or way of getting people who are maybe a little resistant to the gaming side of the hobby? How do you get them into it? I'm just using standard PVA glue here. Now, he does say on his website, he does sell PVA glue, like special PVA glue, and he says that you're supposed to use that. I never do. This is just a huge tub I got from Wilco's. That's how long ago I bought it, because Wilco's doesn't even exist anymore. Yeah, what I'm going to do here is I'm just painting the base with the PVA. And then I'm putting it on reasonably thick. I'm not watering it down. You saw that I scored the base before, just to let the PVA stick to it, because otherwise with MDF, I tend to find that the PVA just peels off. So I'm putting this on here. Now the trick is to put it on reasonably thick, not to let it dry too much, because you need quite a lot of stickiness with this, because there are such big bits involved. So you need to be fairly quick with it, probably quicker than I'm being, because otherwise you're going to lose too much stickiness. Okay, run that along the edge. Some people like the stuff around the edge of the base as well. I don't. I like my bases nice and crisp, particularly for Napoleonics. Now I've missed. I can't really get to the bit between their feet there, so I'm hoping that other bits will track across and grab that. Now another key thing here is that you don't just put it in and then ruck it up like this, because you'll end up with like a big tide at the front and then not much in the middle. So you're much better off actually picking it up and just letting it fall in like this. Once you've got the large bits in place, then look for smaller grains and pack those on as well. Now you can paint the bases before you do this. With the MDF, I don't think it's necessarily so important because it's a fairly mid-neutral brown anyway. But if you wanted to do a different colour, I might suggest that you paint the bases first. There's quite a few rocks and stuff on here. Don't worry, most of those are going to fall off. But I'm going to leave it there to dry. And then perhaps go in with some much more diluted PVA later. And then that will seal it in place. You can also seal it with varnish as well. But I like to use a very, very watery PVA glue, to the extent that just by putting the brush on top of the sand, it draws the liquid out, and that's got the PVA on it. Now I haven't scored this, have I? I was just noticing there that the glue was sliding off the corners, so we don't want that to happen. So yeah, it looks like I'm giving up on the internet up here today. It's certainly not working, so I'm not sure if anyone's answered the poser I put about how can we get more people who are interested in non-gaming aspects of the hobby into the gaming. But if someone has answered that, apologies. I have missed it. Let me see if... No, I can't get it up there. Let's have a look. Ah, there we go. I wish I had shares in really useful boxes. Yeah, I know. It's shocking, mate. I was looking yesterday at how many I've got, and it's horrifying how many I've got. I've not dared think about what that means money-wise. 6 Up Tabletop Gaming says, hello, Conradson. He doesn't say that. Conradson says that. 6 Up Tabletop Gaming says, buy 2 armies, helps others interested in a little upfront cost, just some time. Yeah, yes, I agree with you. However, I tend to find that with less buy-in, and I mean that financially and emotionally, shall we say, people will just pick something up, they'll play a game, and then they'll put it down again, and there's a good chance that they'll never really think about it again. So that would be my thing. Pedro, is that Grenadiers you speak hard? Nice one, Aussie. Yes. How are you doing yours? Are you doing them as French, or are you doing them as another nation as well? Because that's a great thing with French troops. You can you do them with loads of different nations. I saw a thing there about Scandinavians. Let me have a look. I've always got the eye out for some Scandinavians. Am I going to start collecting Scandinavian countries? Yes, I was planning on doing Scandinavia month last year, but unfortunately things got away from me and I didn't quite manage to get that done. Start collecting Scandinavian countries is going to be difficult because there's fairly limited, and I don't know a huge amount about their conflicts. I was researching it last year. I got I got some of the basics down, but probably not enough that I feel I would be an expert on it. In our Discord, which is available to channel members, there's a chap in there, Merlin. He absolutely is the expert on the Scandinavians. You want to know anything about Scandinavian armies? He's the guy to ask. I should probably have him on as a guest. We should probably do like a live stream or something where he educates me on the Scandinavians, because he certainly can. There's no doubt about that. Let's just get a little bit of soil in there. There we are. No, I'm not gonna. Let's have a little bit of foam, and then we'll just have some sand. So this this stuff comes ready mixed like this, which is what I like about it so much. This tub it's like an A5 box, and it's probably about 2 centimeters deep. This is 2 packs worth, so about £10 worth. I think that's good value. As I say, what I like about it is it's just straight out of the box, and there's not a huge amount more messing around with it required. Where are we? Major Clanger is painting 28mm 16th century Italian walls. Oh, the assault group. Yes, no, they are very nice. Yes, very good. What company do I think is the best for getting a great looking old guard? I really like the Perry's ones, the ones who are sort of at rest. They're like leaning on their muskets and stuff like that. But it's a yeah, I really like those ones. If you want actually like attacking ones, then I actually really like the Victrix ones. I think the plastic Victrix ones are pretty good, to be honest. I don't think you can go far wrong with them. Kent me a photo paper. How long have I had this? Well, luckily it's my dad's. I'm in General Dad's attic at the moment, and he used to be a press photographer. So we've got quite a lot of these boxes lying around with various things in. I'm older than I look, Clive. That's what it is, mate. In fact, I was only thinking it was on the 6th of June, 2004. My last day in the army, so just over 20 years ago now, and I can't believe it's that long. I thought I'd be dead by now. So that's a cheery comment. In all seriousness, how long does it take to get ready to play Black Powder or insert one game here? Yes. That's the answer to that one. Chits and crits? Yes. No, it can... I mean, it depends, doesn't it? It depends on the size of the game that you want to do. Now, for Black Powder, you're probably going to want at least 2 brigades. So, you're looking at maybe 4 units of infantry, 2 units of cavalry, I would say is the absolute minimum. So, I guess it depends on how long it takes you to paint. If I weren't working, if someone said, like, you know, oh, you've got a week off, and you've got nothing to do but paint figures, I could probably crack that out in maybe 2 weeks. To a reasonable tabletop standard. Nothing amazing, but not bad. But realistically, if you are looking to, you know, in real life, yeah, you're probably looking maybe 6 months. Would be a reasonable thing. What unit did I say? Well, I was only Territorial Army, I should say. I wasn't regular, so I don't want to. I don't want anyone to think I'm claiming stolen valor or anything like that. And I never saw action. I'm eternally thankful to say. But I was in the King's Regiment. I started off in the Royal Signals. I was in the King's Regiment, and when I left, I was actually attached to the. Well, it was a bit of a funny one. I was attached to the 3rd Royal Horse Artillery, but that's because my job then was to be a forward artillery observer. But I was actually attached to the 13th, 18th Hussars for that one. So yeah, so that's where I ended up. When you know it's getting squeaky bum time, I'm painting in the car. In the car, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well, my for the last weekend, my Germans were based at work, so in between patients coming to the desk, I was sneakily like leaning to one side and basing my Germans. So yes, I can absolutely feel your pain there. Yeah, months. Yeah, as I say, yeah, months. Probably 6 months would be the longest I would say it should take. Obviously, you know, life gets in the way. It takes longer than that for some things, and other things it can be shorter. But if you were to say, for argument's sake, you and a friend were say, right, we're going to play Black Powder. If you were starting from scratch now, and you wanted to have a game where everything was painted and had scenery and all that stuff, I'd say you're probably looking early, like late autumn, early winter, so maybe November, December time. Let's go there. Yeah, the worst part of being attached to the it was the Lancers, actually, not the Hussars. The worst part of being attached to them was that they were based in Wolverhampton, and Wolves beat Sheffield United in the playoff final while I was there. So I had to buy everyone drinks. That was the worst part of it. I think it was Churchill that said territorial reserves were twice as citizen. Well, certainly, I mean, after I left, they were used far more in not because I left, actually. Well, I don't know, maybe the quality, the average quality went up after I left, but they were certainly used a lot more on operations in Iraq and Afghanistan than they were when I left. I mean, it was all pretty much over in 2004, and then it sort of came back with ISIL and the Surge and all that kind of stuff was sort of 2008, 2009. So yeah, crazy time, really. But that, I mean, still, even today, the 1980s, Cold War and modern war is still another period that I really like. I don't talk much about it on here. I don't think I do, but I would say that's probably my second period, rather than World War II. It's probably 1980s Cold War. I love me some Soviets or East Germans. That's why I've got my East German flag, which some of you guys have seen before. I used to do security work. I painted my entire French and British 50mm Waterloo arms with it. Fantastic. Well, you see, it keeps you awake, though. I used to know a guy who was a fireman. When I worked for Games Workshop, he worked in a private airfield. He was a fireman. And in his entire time there, he was there for like 2 years. He left to go into the city after that. But for the 2 years, he'd only ever been called out once. And that was in case a plane that had to diverted to that airfield. And he didn't in the end. So the rest of the time, he just used to spend painting his models. I can't remember what he collected now. He was definitely he was a 40k player. I want to say he was a Blood Angels player, but I could be wrong. I might just be thinking because he was a fireman. He liked Red Armies. I don't know, maybe. And make sure you get the corners as well. One of the problems with this is going back in can be a little bit troublesome. So try and get it all done the first time around, so you don't have to. As I say, that you can't. I wouldn't advise just digging it in. I'd try and place some big bits first, just to give the base some definition, some shape that you want it to have. Maybe another rock over here. And then just sprinkle this on. You could, if I wasn't doing this on camera, I would probably leave the bases in the box, rather than leave them out. But I don't want the camera to get too busy, so that's why I'm leaving it out. But yeah, don't go wild shaking them. You can see here in front of that guy's leg, I've missed some PVA. So the problem is, by putting it on, the rocks in particular, I'm going to take up, and I don't really want to do that. You get a bit of sponge at least, get a bit of colour on there. And you know that wood pigeon's singing his song of love. Good luck, Wood Pigeon. I got out in '89. I don't know if I could wargame a period I was involved in. No, that's fair enough. Yeah, I think I can appreciate that. Hey Tim, what's the largest wargame you've participated in? Without a shadow of a doubt, that would be Waterloo, the Great Game Refought. That was in 2019, I think it was. Clive, you might be able to get me on that one. Yeah, no, so there were about 100 odd players there. 118, something like that. So yes, no, absolutely, definitely that one. However, one of the best participation games I've ever played was a game that I did at my store at Games Workshop, which was a 40k game where you had like a beach landing, and then you had to like fight your way up to the citadel, and then fight into the city beyond that. That was absolutely awesome game. That was. I think the table was 6 foot wide, and I think 24 feet long. Oh yeah, that was really good. I had my Deathcore of Krieg army on that table as well. So yeah, no, that was pretty epic. But no, the Waterloo game was without a doubt the biggest one I've ever partaken in. Mage Clanger, I am so excited. I've ordered for my 20. Oh, that reminds me, I've got your pirates downstairs. I need to sort out an HMS Surprise for you as well, don't I? I'll be honest with you, dude. I completely forgot. But I saw the sprue of pirates yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, no, I was supposed to send these off, wasn't I? So yes, next time I'm in and around Warlord, I'll grab a HMS Surprise for you. You'll have to send me your address though. Wargames rules for all land warfare platoon battalion level. 1925 to 1950, 1950 2000. Okay, that sounds interesting. I don't know that one. Who's the manufacturer of that one? I might have a check of that one myself, actually. No one wants to be forced to go to Wolverhampton. Yeah, absolutely. Good man, Blood Angels. Yeah, you know what? I really shouldn't. I've been looking at my. So I'm a huge fan of Epic Armageddon, and about 18 months ago, I found there was a 30k version of Epic Armageddon. This was before they brought out Legion Imperialis. So I got into that. General Dan had some Emperor's Children. I got the Imperial Fists. But I keep looking at the Blood Angels. I'm like, oh, I really fancy doing some Blood Angels. The Dawnbreakers are just so cool. I just think they're and the Angels Tears are super cool as well. So yes, no, this is not 30k Wargamer, but I have been feeling the call of 30k recently. The Blood Angels in particular. Yeah, Games Workshop don't make them like they used to, that's for sure. How was the game played in Glasgow? I remember whilst I was a dental student at university, I missed a huge refight at Waterloo. Well, maybe you can tell me when you were there. And a dental student. Oh well, if you're ever in Sheffield, come pop to the Charles Clifford Dental Hospital. You'll see me manning the barricade on the first floor. It was absolutely fantastic. No, it was really good. The experience itself was great. And the other thing that really surprised me was how many young people there were. Not old duffers like me. But, yeah, no, it really... there's a lot of people out there who say, oh, the wargaming hobby's aging out. You know, there's all full of old farts and all that stuff. And I can tell you that the Great Game was absolutely not like that at all. There was a lot of people in their 20s and 30s. Some people were more... some people were more interested in the period than others. Some people just wanted to take part in something that was interesting. But yeah, no, it definitely proved to me, because I'd fallen into the lazy stereotype that, you know, Napoleonics was full of old farts. But no, it really, really showed that to be a lie. And I thought that for me, that was the best thing about the Waterloo event. was it showed that there really is a bright future out there for Napoleonics. I've just added a little tuft to this base here. I thought we needed something just to brighten it up a little. So I'm going to grab that there. What time we're looking at? It's 6 minutes to 7. So I'm going to grab these 2 last bases. We'll assemble the unit to have a look at what they're like. Let's have a look at these grenadiers again. They are really nice. Oh, Lucas, you have done a fine job on these. He's going to make me want to do the Austrians next. And then we will have a final look. Oh, these guys are from a different battalion. These are the ones with the white facings. As you can see, I am absolutely nowhere near ready for Under Eagles to Glory. So if you are coming to that, then if I bring my Württembergers, I hope you'll appreciate the gargantuan effort that's gone into to getting them ready in time. I may have to supplement them with some Bavarians. I don't know. Well, we shall see. If everything goes to plan, I won't actually be playing, so I don't mind too much. I'd rather be the umpire and let the gaming be with the other guys. But yes, Martin led. That was indeed the Waterloo refort. This thing we went to at the weekend with my brother Paul, that was the same guys. It was Tony Pollard again. It was D-Day refort this time. Now I may be able to spill some tea here. Now that's a phrase that apparently the cool kids say. So there you go. I may be speaking out of turn. I cannot promise that anything will come to pass about this, but I do know that Tony was having a very involved conversation about another mega project, wargaming wise, not as big as Waterloo, I wouldn't have thought, but another one to be done at the actual battlefield itself. He was on about doing a large refight of Culloden. Now, as I say, that is a little bit of spicy tea that I overheard while I was up there. I cannot say for certain that it's going to happen. I hope it does, because Tony puts a lot of thought and effort into these events. It's good for the charity Waterloo Uncovered, which is the charity that we were fighting for this weekend. They do a lot of work with PTSD sufferers and other former military personnel. I hate the term veterans, but other well, I mean veterans, if they've seen combat, then fair enough, I suppose. And they they do a lot of work with them, so it's all for a good cause. And as I say, hopefully he will do the Battle of Culloden. Now, if that's something that you are interested in, then certainly keep an eye out on the Waterloo Uncovered website. I would suggest. I'm not sure I'll make the trip up to Culloden for that one. If it was Bannockburn and we were back in Stirling, I could very well be tempted by that. But I think Culloden's just a little bit too lacy for me. Ah, there you go, Clive. So yeah, if that's an interest of his already, then maybe it is more likely to go ahead than I thought it would. No, I've missed out a lot of areas on this base. I don't know what I was doing. Dear, oh dear. Having said to you, try not to miss any parts of the base. I think I've probably missed more than I've glued here. So this one's going to be a bit of a sow's ear, I'm afraid. Let's try and make a purse. Oh dear. The more I look at this, the worse it is. Oh God. I should be flogged for such incompetence as this. Without the rum. Dear. Well, apologies. I was obviously getting carried away with my super secret talk of Culloden. All right, let's see how this gets on. Once again, Just put some loose rubble on. Now here I missed a ginormous patch, so let's make the most of it. Let's get a bit of sponge. Pop that on there. Very nice. And then this one back here, there's a huge bit I've missed here. If you see that there, that white thing next to his foot. What I'm going to do, rather than try and get in there with my glue stick, I am going to just apply a stone directly to it. So I've got a little bit of slate. I've got some glue on it. I'm going to plop it on. Bring it in there. And then just seal it with a bit of scatter there. There we go. Still not fantastic. Certainly not as good as it would have been if I'd done it properly the first time. But slightly recovered. Yeah. Do it wrong, do it twice. There you go. Let that be today's lesson. So this is a final one. Let me just quickly score this. Make sure when you're scoring MDF bases for any kind of gluing that you get the corners, because that's the bit that's going to catch you out if you don't. Have I seen Steve St. Clair's 6mm Waterloo collection? I have not. I should do that. I shall check it out. It's on YouTube, you say. I will have a look at that. Steve St. Clair. Interesting. Right. Now, those of you who are coming from Under Eagles to Glory, if there's anyone out there listening to this, I haven't planned anything for the Saturday night yet. There is a pub on the river nearby, which is very good, and I think we will probably end up there. But there's not really anywhere to eat near the venue, so my suggestion is going to be that we go into town, grab something to eat, and then those who want some beverages can come with me to the pub later on. I'm actually staying in at the Derby Cricket Ground, which has got a travel lodge or a Premier. I think it's a travel lodge, and that's basically directly opposite the venue. Not quite, but it's close enough. So yeah, I mean that's easy for me to get to, but I appreciate not everyone's going to be staying there. But yeah, Derby Cricket Ground would be my suggestion if you've not already booked your accommodation, which if you haven't, you've left it quite late. So hopefully there's still room. Still rooms. Right. Oh, it's definitely got post-event lurgy. I thought it could be from my brother's son. He's always giving out the germs. Actually, I should be nice to him. It's his birthday this week. There. Right, now I believe that's everywhere done, he said. I thought it was last time as well. So let's see. I'll start off with some fine. Chuck a rock on or two. Bust out some more fine. See, that's the problem with putting it in the tray, though, is you get it around the edges like that. That's what I'm trying to avoid. Well, if you get it around the edges, not only does it not look as good, it obviously your models won't rank up so well either. So try not to get it on the edges of the edges. I'd normally just run my finger along the edge like this, and that'll get rid of any. So there we go. I think the glue looks like it's soaked through there already. Let's put a little bit more on there. Again, I've missed one bit here. It's not necessarily the end of the world. It's on the outside of the base. So easy to get to with the extra glue. And he can have a nice little bush he's about to march through. So there we go. That's the first battalion, well, sort of complete. I had some interlopers in there. I think we're going to knock it on the head here. So if anyone's got any last questions or comments, now's the time. Pop the lid back on there. So hopefully these guys will be deploying for their first campaign next weekend under Eagles to Glory. Got some rando grenadiers here. They can be at the front because they're not for this battalion. So there we go, and there's the officer to lead them. Let's have a close-up on their bases. So I think they're really nice. As I say, they come pre-mixed like this, so you can have that consistency across your army, and that's really important. It's basing that often ties an army together. So you can have different uniforms, different facings, things like that. That's particularly important if you're doing, say, a British and Allied army. While everyone's got different outfits on, you can tie them together by keeping them in the same basing scheme. And that can be really, really useful. So that's why I enjoy Gamers Grass. As I say, check them out. Not too expensive. And they've got a huge range of stuff. And it just gives you that consistency when you're trying to base your minis. Well, that's it. It's 7:05. I have overrun. Thank you very much for joining me today. I know it's been a bit on and off for the last couple of weeks, so apologies for that. There will be a video this Sunday. There will be a video next Wednesday, probably of me desperately trying to base some figures. And then next weekend is going to be the actual event. Not this coming weekend, the weekend after, under Eagles to Glory. If there's not much on the day, there will certainly be stuff afterwards, but I'm hoping there's stuff on the day as well. And I hope to see you guys then. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you guys later.